Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of my Married at First Sight review. I know this is impromptu. I didn't tell anybody I was going live, but I was just getting really far behind and I wasn't going to be able to film this week's episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about last week's episode, which is episode 11, and then I'm going to stop this video and do another live and talk about this week's episode. Really, I should do them together because they kind of flow really well into each other because it's the same event. So maybe I'll make it one long video. But you know what I'm saying? For those views though, you should really separate it, right? Okay, but anyways, let's jump right into episode 11. Thank you guys so much who's been rocking with me since I started doing this season. I don't know if I'm going to continue with Married at First Sight and talking about it. Like I might continue watching it, but it's not something that I'm like hungry to watch every single week, which is why I think the videos haven't been coming to you guys as fast as they really should be. I don't like this setup. I feel like I didn't fix this whole thing well enough. But anyways, so before my notes magically disappear as they are wont to do, let's jump right into this episode. Okay, so cancel. All right, so we first start off with Luke and why does it keep doing that? We first start off with Luke and Kate, and they are getting ready to go to the ballet to see Romeo and Juliet, and they seem to be doing really well together, and Luke bought them tickets, and they both seem happy, and like, blah, 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 like, who cares? I don't really care about this couple. Oh, hey, everybody that's here. Hey, yeah, this is for you guys. Oh, the hair, girl, I have to start wearing like all of the wigs that I own. So this is what she's going to be doing. I think this is going to be the main girl that she's going to wear all the time now. I wish my real hair looked like this. And so maybe if I wear the wig, the real hair will do this one day. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay. So anyways, we start out with them and they're going to go to the ballet. So everything seems cool. I don't believe it, but it's because I just really don't want them to be together. I feel like it's too much has gone down for it to be cohesive for the future. But they are getting closer after they had the conversation about divorce last episode. Then we go to Will and Jasmine. So Jasmine is now making her last ditch effort to really get Will to understand where she's coming from, to talk about maybe having sex and to possibly even having sex. But the way she goes about doing is giving Will what he wants, which is intellectual stimulation. So she cooks him a meal. She got the titties out, girl. And she looks good in her little lingerie. I wanted to see the whole entire outfit to see what she was wearing because like I'm inspired by Jasmine's fashions thus far in this series. And she didn't show us, but it's fine. And I just like, she's having to do all of this in order to get her husband to have sex with her. And maybe that's a shallow point of view because I'm a super single and I've never had a lot of the affection and other side of a relationship besides the sex. So for me, I'm like, the sex is the easiest part. The other part, the like talking and emotional and whatever is the harder thing. I don't know. I'm sure I'm backwards in that thinking. Again, if you guys didn't catch my live yesterday, I'm in therapy, girl, and I'm working on it. Okay, so she cooks, and she makes sure to say a little dig of like, a lot goes into cooking, as though he doesn't know how much goes into cooking. He made her a whole meal the other day, and she was upset about his light-skinned pancakes. So, you know, whatever. So they have that, and she asks him while they're eating, you know, is there something about your past relationships that you're not letting go of, or things that, you know, you want to talk about? And he mentions how his last relationships, I guess 2 of them, they broke up with him. They broke it off with him. And so he has been in his feelings before and like, well, you know, well, why didn't they want to be with me? And Will says that he's an introvert. So I think that he needs to also understand that there is something that he's got to work on. Like if 2 people have broken up with you because they don't see a future with you, like let's delve into what's going on with you. And like I said, this is somebody who like is delving into what's going on with her, So Jasmine doesn't know this, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know that had been something in your life." And he says that he got out of it by, listening to words of affirmation and really trying to see the bright side of things. And my things is like, you need to go to therapy. That's what you needed to do, is go to therapy. Words of affirmation is only going to take you so far, especially if you're just trying to solidify like what you already believe is true about yourself, when you just need an outside perspective. Or to even ask the ladies, like, hey, what was it, that made you not see a future with me, at the very least. So that's how he got out of it in his mind. So she then is like, okay, so they got to know each other. They're intellectually stimulated, both of them. And she asks him if he's intellectually stimulated. And he's like, yeah, so let's get ready to go to bed. And so they get ready to go to bed. And they get into the room, and before he tries to like knock out to sleep, she's like, no, we have homework to do, and let's play this kissing game. So they take out, I don't know what they do with the kissing game, but apparently they're supposed to kiss each other for a minute and see what happens. So they kiss each other for a minute with full-on lights and full-on cameras in the room. And he walks out away from that kiss saying, he doesn't walk out of the room, sorry. He just like, they separate and they end the kiss. And, he asks her how it was for her. And she says, well, it was good. And he says, oh, for me, it was a little awkward. And that offended her. Now, that, like, to me, I can understand why he was saying it was a little awkward, because there's a full ass camera crew in the bedroom with them, right? So I could see it being a little awkward. Like, I would have the hardest time truly making out with somebody with a whole ass camera crew in my face. Okay. But then after that, it seems like they don't have sex. And she's like, well, are you not were you not mentally stimulated? And he's like, yeah, I was, but for me it was like we would need to be talking more and then maybe go into it. And I'm just like, girl, talking about what? Like, what is it that you need? What is it that Luke and Will need? Because honestly, if this were 10 years ago, I would just tell Will to man the fuck up, and it's just sex, and to have sex with this girl. But we're not 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We're going to appreciate this man's feelings. We're not going to pigeonhole him into being somebody who's just always ready to go, because that's what society tells us that men's roles are, that they should just be ready to go at all times. But like, I'm just like, it's been 5 weeks and you guys have been living with each other. And it's not only like you've been dating every single day and getting to know each other. Now, I understand how hard it could be when you're trying to get to know somebody and you don't want to be 100% yourself, but you're also looking out to judge them and waiting for them to do something that you don't like. But the fact is that you guys have put the cart before the horse. So at this point, you might as well just let it all out. Fucking just be who the fuck you are and let the pieces fall where they may. And I think that's what's happening in these relationships, is that there's two sides of each couple, each person. There's a side of them that's watching out to see what is wrong with the person and like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. And then there's a part of them that's like open. And those two are always clashing with each other. And it's just like, you just need to be open and then decide what is really a hard line for you. And Jasmine's hard line is that she needs affection. And she's discovered that throughout this. And that is something that I discovered later on in my life as well, is that I needed affection. Like, even if I'm not super attracted to the person or not fully feeling like I want to give myself to you, like, if we're touching, if we're having that thing, it warms me up a little bit. And it's not natural for me. I've had to learn to be affectionate to guys. I've had to learn to touch them even when I don't fucking feel like touching them. Like, I've had to make conscious decisions when in the passenger seat to reach over and like stroke a neck, or to like hold a hand in the car, because holding the hand in the car seems fucking ridiculous. But there have been men who want to do it. And so I'm just like, I really don't understand holding hands in general, but I think it's just because of my limited, we've talked about it, because of my limited understanding of relationships and how that works. And I've never really had anybody do it. I've never really had the urge to hold anyone's hand, but people have been having the urge to hold my hand. So I hold a hand. So this is what I'm saying, Will. Like, if people need to be affectionate, you just need to give them affection. I don't know if Jasmine has told him that. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe she's just beat around the bush about it, and that could be the issue. All right, you guys, there are 112 people in this room. We are 10 minutes in and only 17 likes. So if I could get a like, that would be awesome. That would be amazing if I could get some more likes. All right, there we go. 18 likes. All right, so keep it going. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, thank you liking my hair. Ooh, girl, thank you. Thank you. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I love that you love the wig. Hi, Isabel. Oh, Kimberly, Jesse, Ashley, Michelle, Hot Cocoa Bang Bang. Kimberly's from West Covina, girl. Okay, anyways, so I am gonna move on now to the next segment with them. So now we go to a scene with Dr. Cal, and they're eating like a dinner with Dr. Cal. And Dr. Cal is asking them like where they are with love. Like, have they used the love word? You know, AJ has his little thing. He was ready, girl. AJ was like, we're not using the L word. We're using the K word. And everyone's like, what's the K word? And he's like, well, it's the letter before L. So we're almost there. And we're just like, boo. Like, shut up, Luke. Shut up. Getting on my nerves. Okay, I just had to take my Wi-Fi off. Okay. And so Dr. Cal says something that I think was genius. He says, love is a decision and a principle. And I agree with that. Not all the time, not in every instance. Sometimes it's innate and it's natural. Like, I have people in my life that I love, and the way this might be more, but the way I delineate that is like, if somebody were to die, would I mourn you? And if the answer is yes, if I would actually feel the absence of you in my life in like a visceral, physical way, then yes, I love you. And then I've been in love before with somebody and it was a terrible experience, and I'm working on that too. Okay. So yeah, so he says that, and I was like, you know what, that is what it is in a marriage. Like, to me, when you make a decision to marry somebody, you're making a decision to do a thing. At least that's how I would have to do it, because I've been single too long and I'm too much of a practical person. Like, I would be having to make a decision to do a thing with someone, to build a relationship, to cultivate a family, to build a life together, to be partners through this harsh, hard world, somebody to pay half the bills with, girl. Like, that is what I think of marriage as. Like, not necessarily the romantic lovey-dovey part of it, which would be great, but I think that adds an extra layer of stress if another person doesn't hold up their end of the bargain when it comes to that. But as far as the tangible things that they're allowed to hold up or they can hold up, I think that's why arranged marriages to me work, because people understand what they're doing. Like, you don't necessarily need to be in love with someone, but you should love them. And that means is a decision and a principle that you're going to go through life together. So I really liked when Dr. Cal said that. So anyways, he let them know that they were doing a mini moon, I think it's called, and that they were going to go out to connect with the other couples, and that they weren't going to be in separate places. They're going to be one space. And AJ is immediately annoyed by this, because he's like, I was looking for an opportunity to connect with my wife. I was like, first of all, you live with her, so you can always do that. Number two, this is free, so calm down. You're getting a free vacation in the Poconos. So I'm gonna need you to fucking chill with this is not gonna work out because I wanted time to connect with my wife. Bitch, you go to sleep with her every night. I'm confused as to what the fuck is going on. AJ is really getting on my nerves, okay? AJ is really getting on my nerves. I feel for Stephanie, girl. I feel for you. Okay, anyways. So then we have the next scene where we find out that Kate has a secret that she hasn't told anybody. And she sits down with Dr. Pepper, and she tells Dr. Pepper that the secret is that she actually has been having sex with Luke since the honeymoon. And that he is awkward every time they've had sex. And they've had sex 4 or 5 times. And during the honeymoon, she figured that it was automatic that they would do that because they're married. They're already there. Let's see what's going to move. But then they did have sex, and he got awkward with her and went to the other room and didn't talk to her for 2 hours. And ever since then, every time they have sex, he gets awkward and he doesn't talk to her afterwards. He just is uncomfortable with it. And so she feels bad. And she, it was that whole thing about her pressuring him to have sex, and he just is not ready. And so Dr. Pepper says, A, you broke your agreement with him by telling me. But B, it's a problem because it's the fact that if you two both wanted to keep that secret from me and from the experts, that would be fine. But you don't want to keep it. Like, He does. And that's where there's a disconnect. And so you need to talk to him about it. And so since things have been going well with her and Luke, she is hesitant to do so because she doesn't want to cause them to have any drama. And I can absolutely see that and get it. But girl, you need to tell him, because that is a breach of contract right there. So Dr. Pepper then says the whole thing that I was talking about earlier briefly with Will is that that we need to be respectful of men and their feelings about sex. That, there's this idea that they should just be ready to go at all times, but we're not taking in their feelings in consideration, and not every man is like that. And I was like, okay, that does make sense. And I felt, like, you're right. But like, the fact is that Luke is not attracted to Kate, and that's weird. It's weird because she's not unattractive. So like, I don't get how someone who is attracted to women is unattracted to Kate, to the point where you don't want to have sex with her, and after you have it, you feel horrible. And I don't want to, like, everyone wants to say that Luke is gay, and I just feel like that is such, I don't know, it's like, it doesn't matter if he is. Like, if he doesn't want to be gay, if he doesn't want to be with a man, then like, what am I to do about that? Like, I don't want to be like, he should do this, he should do that. If he's really trying to live that heterosexual life, like, let him live it. And if Kate wants to go through this with him, like, that's on her. She's in that relationship. Like, there are plenty of Mormon women who marry gay men and live fruitful, happy lives. So it happens. There are men who don't want to live a gay life because they don't want to be gay, even though they are attracted to men. And so like, I have to respect his decision. Like, that's how I feel, that's how I feel. So anyways, we're moving on to the next scene with Will and Jasmine. And girl, Jasmine is all the way over it. Okay. They're in the car driving to the mini moon, and she's like, slow down. And he's like, I'm going 3 miles over the speed limit. And she's like, you're going too fast, slow down. And then he's like feeling that awkwardness. He's like, she hasn't really spoken to me since that night, and so I want to talk to her about it. So they start talking about it, and Jasmine is just very defensive and very like not interested in having this conversation. She's very much so like, you know what? Like, I need to, I don't even know what she says, girl, because she's just like, what does she say? Follow-up questions about the kissing. Jasmine's over it. She doesn't even say, you know what, Will, I need affection. And the fact is that you don't hold me, you don't kiss me, we don't even touch. And so I don't know where this is going to go. But she's already making a decision that she doesn't want to be with Will. And we see that later on in the episode. So then the next part of that, Keith and Christine are finally there, and they get to the cabin early, and they pick their room, and they start to, see the lay of the land. And yeah, that's it. And then Kate and Luke get there, and then Jasmine and Will get there, and everyone's having a good time. They take shots, they're eating, they're talking, they're playing games. And then AJ and Stephanie get there, and AJ is acting brand new, like he didn't bloody know that he was coming to this cabin. He was going to be in the room, be in a cabin with all the couples. And he's like, I think this is super unconstructive. I don't think that I'm going to be able to connect with my wife. This whole thing is dumb. I'm not going to do anything. This is going to be a bad trip. And everyone's like, why are you being negative? This is what's happening right now. Like, this is a free 2-day situation. Like, calm down, come in. And he's like, all right. So he gets into the bourbon, girl. He gets into the bourbon and he starts saying things and doing things. And Christine is like, oh, I'm sleepy. The energy is getting weird in here. Good night. And Christine and Keith bounce and go to bed because they don't want to fucking deal with AJ. And if I don't like, woo, that would have been me, girl. I would have been like, oh, there's about to be some inappropriate shit that's going to go on. Like, he's going to try to reach over and touch my hair. He's going to ask me how it feels to be a Black woman. Like, this is what I felt like the line of conversation was going to go with AJ if I had been there and he had been that drunk. Like, that's how inappropriate he is. So they go to bed. Will and Jasmine tough it out. And I think that Will is just like really into watching AJ act up. He's just like watching the whole thing, like really about it. And there's more bourbon drinking. And then he says that he got horny and drunk one night and went up and signed for the show because he was like, it's time that I got a wife. And then he asks the group, is anyone upset that we're doing so well? I mean, it's been really bothering me. I wanted to know if you guys are upset. And they're all like, no. I mean, I feel like Luke low-key might be, but I'm just like, who the fuck is worried about y'all? No one is jealous of Stephanie. Okay? No one is worried about y'all. No one. What? The hubris on him. The hubris. Oh, hey, Jay. Who is you talking to? Stephanie's like, I have a headache. I'm going to bed. Stephanie was like, I'm not here for this. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to sit here awkwardly looking at my husband being asked about himself. I'm just going to go to sleep because I'm so tired. My headache. I'm like, Stephanie, girl, we see you. You and Christine. You were like, deuces. I'm not going to manage them. He's a grown-ass man. He's going to have to do it himself. Okay. So then this is the part where it gets real crazy. And this is where I was like, Luke, I'm going to need you to buck up. AJ tells Luke, I just, can we talk about Luke? Luke, are you a top or a bottom? Shots fired! Shots fired! What? First of all, are you a top or a bottom? If that had been me and I had been Kate, I would have been like, what the fuck you say to my husband? And it's not even the fact that it's like, or you're accusing him of being gay. It's not about that at all. It's just, you're just being fucking rude, because even if he was gay, it's none of your business if he was a top or a bottom. It's none of your business. It's clearly a bottom, but it's none of your business. And so then he's like, you're like Teen Wolf, man. You're so hairy. Can I shave you? And Luke is like, no, I just learned to accept myself a long time ago. So, it just is what it is. I'm like, Luke, buck up, son. You going hard on AJ in the confessionals, but in his face, you're not going to come at him? No. You a bottom for real. And then he gets up, and I don't know if it actually, I feel like this is what it is. Here's the deal. I feel like Lifetime put in a sound effect of AJ slapping Luke's ass, because Luke did not react to having his ass slapped. I'm going to put it on and I'm going to look at it. Maybe I'll even turn it around so you guys can watch it. And you tell me if this, cause my brother watches this with his wife. He watches Married at First Sight, and he's like, I can't. When they got into the cabin, because we were watching a little bit of it together, he's like, I was watching it with Kenya, but I didn't finish watching it. But so we were putting together my furniture, and my brother was like, I put it on so that we could have like background noise, and he's like, man, he just got really into it, and he was like, nah. I couldn't be in there with AJ. And I'm like, no one could be in there with AJ. Hold on, I'm fast forwarding it to the end of the episode because of the end of the episode. Like, and I'm like, you don't think you would react? Why did not Luke react? Why did not Luke react? Either it didn't happen, either he did it and it didn't connect and they added the sound effect, or Luke didn't give a fuck that other grown-ass man slapped his ass, whom he does not like. Like, they're not bros. He doesn't like AJ. Look at Stephanie's face. I'm going to turn it around. Look at Stephanie's face. Like, she is so... She's like, ugh, my dumb husband. Look at her face. Like, she's just so sad about her dumb husband. Actually, let me just go over here and do it. I'm doing a lot, you guys. There's a lot is going on in my life. Okay, play. Oh, let's get to it. She goes to sleep, leaves him out there to harass the rest of the people. Come on. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. But anyways, yeah, sorry this is a mess, you guys. Are
you more of a top or more of a bottom, Luke? Can I shave your arms? No. You're straight like Teen Wolf. I mean, look at your knuckles. I would do that right now and do it at the table. No, I just have to accept who I am as a person. Really good at debating. I'm a master debater.
Okay, I'm gonna rewind it. Was there a reaction?
Cool. So I would do that right now and do it at the table. No, I just have to accept who I am as a person. Really good at debating. I'm a master debater.
Such a small reaction.
You're straight like Teen Wolf. I mean, look at your knuckles. I would do that right now and do it at the table. No, I just have to accept who I am as a person. Really good at debating. I'm a master debater.
Yo, that is out of bounds. Out of bounds. Let me put this down and I'll come back around. No, out of bounds. And like he did have a reaction, I guess, but to me, it wasn't big enough. For that sound, it was not big enough. Okay. So, yeah. Stephanie and Christine did not see any of that. All right. So then after that, Luke and Kate go to a waterfall, and apparently it's like their perfect date. And to me, it just looks like so earthy and like not my perfect date at all. And after that, Kate has to tell Luke that she told Dr. Pepper about their sex lives and she's really nervous about it. And she should have told him, but then didn't tell him and ends up telling him in the next episode. Spoiler alert. But it looks like Luke is being a different person. Kate is being a different person. They feel really good about themselves. And then AJ and Stephanie go to a pottery class where there's a lot of like T&A, like innuendos, and it's like, ugh, who cares about them too? But, you know, for AJ to say that they weren't going to get to know each other, they do group activities together. Like Christine and Keith end up doing a group activity. Will and Jasmine ended up doing a group activity, and like people got their group activity on. So there's that. All right, you guys. So that is the end of this episode. AJ is a mess, and he needs, he would catch these hands for sure. But I don't think that his behavior was appropriate at all. So that was the end of this episode. What were you guys saying over here? Yeah, it did sound like skin clacking on skin, Jesse. And so that's why I was like, they amped it up. Can I do a live for the DA Day episode? Oh, no, because I work. I work on Tuesday nights. So yeah, the only time I can do lives is on Fridays and Saturdays. Lives where I show the show. Sometimes, yeah. So yeah, that sucks that I can't. What a good idea though. All right, so I'm going to end this episode right here for those who are not watching it live so that they can get through this episode without freaking out. There's 50 likes, 162 people in this room. If I could get this video to get some more likes, that would be awesome. So if you have not liked this video, please go on ahead and do so. You just need to exit out of, if you're doing it on your phone, you just need to exit out of the chat and then you'll be able to do it. So I will show you right now. We're in my live. Take the volume off. And if you're in the live and you're seeing all the people chatting, you just push the X up here and it takes you out of it. And then you just go thumbs up. And then you can go back into the live by going back to the live chat. Should I sing Chris's song for you guys? Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. I said thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't like to do runs. I always feel like I get really nervous when I go to do runs because I feel like I don't know how to do them. All right, 82 likes. Good, okay. I accept it. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not watching this live, let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And yeah, the next video that I'm going to have after this one, I'm going to go live again, is going to be episode 12. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Okay, guys, if you guys want to hear me talk about episode 12, give me like 10 minutes and I'll be right on with another live. Okay, bye.